If you're just joining us, you are on to 2019 Election Countdown Studio, reaching you live from Clearview Television from the nation's capital city, Abuja. Still, there's so much in the air about preparations for the 2019 elections. The politicians are out in the field, canvassing for votes, and a lot of other issues surrounding the conduct of the elections. As we continue our countdown towards February 16 and March 2nd, we have another guest with us to share his thoughts and views. This time around, he's not a candidate for one of the elections, but he's a media specialist. He was an executive director in Edo State, where he also served as special assistant on media and the diaspora to the then governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshioke, who today is the national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Our guest this time around is Mr. Victor Oshioke. Mr. Oshioke, you are welcome to our countdown studio.
Yeah, good evening, my brother.
Yes.
Good evening, madam.
Yes. Mr. Oshioke is not just a media specialist, he is a stalwart of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. So he has a deep knowledge of issues surrounding the party as the countdown to the 2019 elections continues. There's been a lot from our introductory part. There have been campaigns. The president was today in Kano. The candidate of the PDP, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, was in Asaba. Both extremists. And we hear from Kano that even two provincial governors, two governors from two provinces in the neighboring Republic of Niger, attended the president's rally in Kano today. Is that a plus for your party? Let's start from the campaigns by the APC.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes.
Good evening, my brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Well, let me start from two governors from neighboring countries coming
Yes.
to solidarize with the president.
Good.
It shows the influence of Nigeria at this point in time.
Yeah.
It shows that President Buhari is not only accepted in Nigeria, he's even accepted beyond. There was a time when we were almost like a pariah nation, when in the run-up to 2015 elections, you could see that even foreign countries where it was a unanimous belief that the current government then had to go. But seeing people come, I mean, I hope you saw the crowd in Kano today. It shows the general acceptance of President Buhari. The people, the downtrodden, the people who know that what he is doing, we ought in the long run benefit the masses of this country. Not when policies are judged towards benefiting a few. The general acceptance of Buhari is because of the fact that what he is doing today, Nigerians are becoming very, very mature politically. They know that what transpires today might be the actions of 5-10 years ago. And so they know that the actions of President Buhari today will translate into a better future. Like our slogan goes, we are going to the next level. And the fact that people are trooping out everywhere it goes to shows that the people truly accept that Nigeria is going to the next level. You see what happened yesterday. He was in Eboyi. You are everywhere he goes to. The crowd is total. Kaduna, he was in Kaduna. He was in Imo. You could see everything. So for me, it shows that the people accept him. You could see the ecstasy in the crowd. See people climbing poles to have a glimpse of the president, and that's what a popular leader should be like.
So what are some of these unique things that the president is doing that is getting this kind of attention? Acceptance.
You see, the what people forget about this election, because for some people they do not know why Buhari is loved by so many people, almost like a cultic followership. It's simple. the people are aware that whatever you might say about APC, one thing is clear. There's a general acceptance that the man who is at the helm of affair is incorruptible. You cannot say that about another party at this point in time. Buhari is a man who is an institution in integrity. He is somebody who nobody, no matter what you might say about him, you will not say he's a corrupt man. And over the years, the people have come to realize that it is corruption that brought us to where we are today. So, people might say things are bad, things are this. But people know that things may not be totally rosy at the moment. But they know that they do not hear those news of a few stealing money. And they live in the same communities with people. They see even the rich crying. I mean, this is pleasant in the ears of the poor when the rich cry. And this is why the poor are trooping behind Buhari.
Okay, how would you judge the relationship of the APC with that of Imo State, Lagos State, Ogun State, Zamfara, River State? You know, court case, crisis, here and there. How would you judge it?
You see, why is it that it is APC that has this crisis? It is not one of the other parties. It is because, like they say, it is a fruit that is sweet that people throw stones at. People are dragging for the ticket because they know the party is the party of the future, is the party of the present, party of the future. They know that the masses, I mean, if APC was not a party that is popular, nobody is going to be fighting for its ticket. And moreover, we as Nigerians, we have not imbibed this culture of losers accepting that they have lost. If we accept that at every point in time anybody can lose an election, there will not be that quest to fight for primaries at this point in such a way. If we accept the fact that losing today does not mean that you will lose tomorrow. I mean, what I would advise, not just our party people, all politicians in Nigeria, is that they should imbibe the spirit of Muhammad Buhari, a man who lost severally and continued. He had a belief that he had something to deliver, and he had confidence in himself. That when given that at a point in time, Nigerians will realize that he is the right person for them. So I believe that the crisis you might see, pockets of crisis here and there, they are good for democracy. They are a good test for our laws, because usually the courts, sometimes the courts fold their hands at work. But when the courts are busy,
but the crisis is going to cause your party not to have candidates from Zamfara and River State.
Who says so?
Okay, let's look at it this
The
way.
cases are in court, and
The elections are fast approaching.
The INEC chairman has said that they work with existing court orders, which means the list came out yesterday or today. Some parties were removed from some places. Why? Because, like in Zamfara, they claim they have two judgments of, how do they call it? I'm not a lawyer. Of the same.
Conflicting judgment from the appellant court.
No, not appellant. Of the same. Is it coded or something like of the same level? Yes. Maybe two high court judgments.
Coordinate jurisdiction.
Coordinate jurisdiction. So they are waiting for a time when there will be a superior court order that will decide who they bring. So I mean, it's clear. And remember that why it will not have effect on the elections is because, remember that it is not names of candidates that come in the ballot paper. It's name of parties. So at the right time, even after the election, if the court brings a judgment on the right candidate, it is the party that won the election. It is not the candidate. So the candidate which the court gives the ticket to becomes the candidate of the party. So I do not see this as a major challenge going forward. Like INEC have said, they are prepared. Even a few days to the election, if there is a judgment, they know what to do. And that is why it's in America, on election day, people go to court and challenge even closure of time, the closure of the election time. People go to court on election while election is going on. People make court give injunctions on the elections. I say, okay, maybe the election was supposed to close nationally at 5 p.m. A court can say the election should be opened until 7 p.m. because the number of people still waiting have to be accommodated.
Let's look at it this way. What you are confident that, well, with or without the candidates, the party will participate in these elections, and in Zamfara and Rivers State, for instance.
I'm hopeful.
Yes,
I am hopeful. You know why I'm hopeful is that there are cases in court.
Yes.
I believe that when the judgments from those cases come, because if you look at the crisis, it is the party that actually should say who their candidate is. No. So when the party says, this is our candidate, it behoves on INEC to accept that candidate. But if INEC say they have issues because some other candidate went to court, okay? So the INEC is only waiting. The court must resolve the issues. At one point in time, the court must, and as a party person...
But from INEC's guideline, there is specification for when names of candidates should be submitted, and the time has closed. So is your party now, as the ruling party, trying to bend the law?
No. You're missing the point. Our party submitted names?
They did.
No, they did. They submitted at every point. No. Our party submitted names. It is INEC that said we will not publish names because there is a court order. Our party submitted names of candidates all over the country. It is the INEC. So it's not our problem. It's not the party problem.
The primaries was not held.
Who said so? The primaries were held. People won the primaries were held in Zamfara. There is no place in Rivers. The only problem they are having is that someone went to court and challenged the outcome of the primaries. And because of that reason, INEC has to wait for the court to decide before they publish the names. So these are cases that will be resolved in due course. I'm hopeful because I do not see why. It would be very unfair, for instance, for people of Rivers State to be denied the choice. That in itself is a denial of their right to choose their leaders. If you exclude any party, you are denying the electorate. The person cannot claim to have won because you cannot disenfranchise people because of the mistake of one other person. The people of Rivers State, the people of Zamfara State have the right to vote for the candidates of their choice. And the only way they can exercise that right is when every party is represented on the ballot. When you, for any reason, exclude out of technicalities or whatever.
Let's look at it. Let's look at this one. Let us forget about the technicalities of the court.
Yes.
You talked about your party being of good standing.
Yes.
And that is why there is this clamor by everyone to be in the party.
Yes.
Are you, as a stalwart of the party, are you not worried that your party, given the crisis in Rivers, in Zamfara, and of course Imo State, can be seen, yes, and a few other places, can be seen as being unable to manage internal dissent within the party? Could that be the reason?
No, at all, not at all.
Why is it for a ruling party to be unable with just a few weeks to election, to be still on the
the reason why you have this crisis,
yes,
and to be fair, it's not only APC that has crisis. There is virtually no party that has crisis. Just a few days ago, a presidential candidate withdrew. The party went out and accused the presidential candidate of a lot of crimes. It's not only such a small party.
To a bad one as not having candidates, at least as candidates.
Wait a minute. They people went and challenged and made press statements against their presidential candidate. So it's not only, that's a small party. It's not only APC. Now, coming to the APC, the reason why you have this, what you term crisis, is because APC is not doing what PDP, for instance, was not to be doing, which is intimidating their members. Where they will say, if you go to court, they suspend you. What did the president say? The president said, the members are free to go to court. That's what the president said. So that is why you saw a lot of people going to court, which means there is internal democracy in the party. So It's different from a party where nobody will be allowed to air alternate views. So I don't see it as, but in fact, the leadership of the party has never been this coherent. It has never been this organized. You all know Commander Sushimole. There's virtually every week there is an NWC meeting where issues concerning the party are talked about and decisions taken in a full NWC. Not when we know we're in this country when the decisions were taken between the chairman and the president. In fact, not the chairman, the president was giving instructions to the party or chairman what to do. And when the party chairman refused to do it, the president sacks him. I mean, are you not aware? Were you not in Nigeria? When the president could wake up and remove the chairman of a party without this. I mean, I read the book of a chairman who said the president came to his house, he gave him pounded yam. The president ate the pounded yam. They sat down, they ate pounded yam together and everything. After they finished, he said, write that you are resigning. When the man resigned, the president drove away. Then the president came back and said, you forgot to put your date. Put date here. He put date. Those things are not happening in the APC. So that's why you see people able to go to court, challenge the process. So it is good for our democracy.
But how would you describe the case of Ambode in Lagos? Because it is generating heat at this moment.
Ambode in Lagos, from my understanding, I mean, it's a family affair. I mean, they are saying he should come and present his budget the proper way. I mean, that he sent from my understanding of the crisis they have, is that he sent his commissioner for budget to present the budget.
Which is not outside the law.
Which is not outside the law?
Yes.
So they are saying he should come to present it himself. And they've given him an ultimatum to come and present the budget or face impeachment. Well, it's a hard word to use to mention the I. It's not easy to mention the I word because to impeach a governor is not easy. So they have given their demands. I believe that our leaders will meddle and solve it. It's not even a constitutional crisis. It's a little issue they have among themselves, which I think they will resolve amicably.
Let's listen.
It does not, again, be careful. It does not affect our chances in Lagos State because it does not have to do. We are not in court in Lagos State for any. Nobody's challenging the party candidate for governorship. So it's just a matter of Ambode, who is the present governor, and who has a little issue with his House of Assembly. So I believe these issues happen everywhere. They remove speaker, they do all those ones, but I think they will resolve it.
Yeah, let's leave a party crisis aside. Let's come to governance.
Yeah.
There appear to be a lot of cries among Nigerians about hunger in the land. If your party is aware of this, do you see the party taking steps to provide more food on the table for Nigerians so that we can have less of this cry about hunger?
Yeah.
No, but before you answer, let's quickly throw the lines open for contributions. I'm sure they are itching to talk to you. We'll be back after this break. And don't forget, the numbers are on the screen for you to call. We'll be back.
magazine program on Clearview Television, bringing you incisive discussion sessions, news updates, press review, interviews, sports, fashion, and...
Yep, thanks for joining us. Before we went on break, Mr. Oshioke, yes, a stalwart of the APC, has been discussing with us and telling Nigerians more about what APC will do and will not do, at least for the interest of Nigerians. So the issue, before we went on the break, Nigerians are crying of hunger. How true is it? That's what many people say. Do you believe this? Is a party trying to take a look at this? Is your party aware of this kind of feelings from Nigerians?
Of course. All members of our party live in Nigeria. So they are part of the citizens of this country. So if there is no, members of APC don't shop from a different market from members of the society. They shop from the same market. And yes, things are tight. There's nobody who has denied that things are tight. But what we argue is this: how did we get to this point? And how do we get out of this point? Those are the key issues.
Hold on, please. We have a call. Let's quickly take this call. Hello?
Hello, it's Kure calling back.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Kure.
Thank you very much.
Okay, go ahead and ask your question.
Honestly, you people are doing a great job here.
Thank you very much, sir.
I must have to appreciate your gift.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
The question I want to ask him, I think I should have 2 to 3 questions that I will ask him.
Go ahead.
You can just start with Stu first.
First of all, he tells me that Buhari is entitled for a second chance. Best for me and my family, I didn't see what Buhari has done to touch the life of the common man, because the promise he promised us in terms of insecurity, job opportunity. But the reverse is the case in Kaduna. Honestly, the governor decided to sack workers, civil servants, teachers, traditional rulers. Is that the way that they promised us? Secondly, about the ideas, he's saying that Adam Oshimole, he worked with Adam Oshimole. I'm not surprised. The same Adam Oshimole that is the party chairman came out to say that anybody that runs from PDP to APC, his sin is forgiven. Is that the way we run this country? And they are telling us that they are fighting corruption. Is that the way we fight the corruption? Honestly, I'm disappointed. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kure.
Yes, you are the issue of us not buying, all of us buying from the same market.
Yes.
Before we will get back to the concerns as expressed by
Mr. Kure.
By Mr. Kure.
Okay, first of all, we shop from the same market. That is the issue, that things are tight. That is not the burning issue. The burning issue, how did we get here? How do we get out of here? Those are the key issues. Now, I think the problem we have is that we are not trying to connect the misgovernance of the past with the problems of the future, or the present, and how the good governance of the present is going to lead us to a better future. That's the key. We are suffering today because successive Nigerian governments, have refused to do those things, have refused to put those measures in place that will take Nigeria away from a country that imports everything it needs up to toothpick, to a country that produces what it needs. That is what Buhari is doing. Today, there is a lot of, even the hardship, what you call hardship itself, is bringing out the creative spirit of the Nigerian. People are doing those things they didn't believe they could do before.
Let's quickly take this call, please. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Hello. Good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your contribution or questions.
I'm Mr. Ifeanyi from Zamfara.
Okay, Mr. Ifeanyi.
Ifeanyi from Zamfara.
Yes, go ahead and make your contribution.
Please, ask Mr. Sucre, whether he listened to whatever the say today about what is happening in Zamfara before commenting what is saying about the election in the Zamfara state.
What did Marafa say?
Marafa condemned the judgment held in the Zamfara by the High Court in Zamfara. And Marafa said there is no primary election in Zamfara. Why he himself was here saying that there is primary election in Zamfara state? I think in Zamfara.
Okay. Yeah, he's a stalwart of the APC, so he has information about the party across the country. But he will speak. He will.
What I'm even surprised about it, he said that the people can vote without the candidate. Which let's all tell ourselves the truth if we want this nation to move forward. Some people want to do it. That is very, very unfair.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you
You
very
will take
much.
that. Yeah.
So where do I come from?
Yes.
So first of all, let's go to the issue of hunger in the land.
Yes.
If you before the last government left office in 2015, the GDP was on a free fall. Okay, it was at 2.3 when they handed over power. Yesterday, the vice presidential candidate made a wrong assertion that it was they handed over at 6%. It was not at 6%. The growth, it was at 2.3. Yes,
That's the vice president talking. I will say he's made a wrong assertion.
No, the vice presidential candidate of PDP
All right.
made an assertion which is very wrong when he said that the growth was at 6%. It was not. It was at 2.3%. And yes, along the line, what people fail to understand.
We have a call. Let's quickly pick this call.
We should answer some of the calls because
Yes.
cannot
We'll
find
get
them.
that.
Okay.
The way we will take
Hello?
all of them together.
Okay.
We have.
Hello?
Okay.
Let's continue.
So it was at a free fall. Remember, the dollar itself the naira itself was falling so sharply before the government left office. It continued, to be honest, when the new government came in. You do not expect a government that was coming in to stop an economic situation that was existing. Economic policies take time to have effect. So, when the government came in, it meant a lot of things. If the government today is channeling money into infrastructure, if you know the level of infrastructural development going on in Nigeria right now, you'll be amazed. This is what drives the economy. And the effects of those infrastructure renewal, the effects of the agricultural policies will be felt in the next few years. In fact, by next year, next Christmas, you'll be able to see
Let's
the
quickly take
effects.
this call, please. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we've lost that call.
So you'll be able to see some effects, or some of these effects.
Yes.
So what I'm saying in essence is this. Something brought us to this level. And
Let's
somebody is
quickly
about to
the
take
call.
us
They
out
are
of this
calling
level.
back.
Tell them they have
Hello?
yes or sir. After.
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Okay, let's consider. Let's go to the issue. The first caller, who talked about the insecurity,
job
in spite of
opportunity.
the promise the president made to deal with the issue of security.
Yes.
But today, the situation is that bad in Kaduna State. Then he also talked about the issue of the governor of of Kaduna State sacking virtually everybody, whether in the civil service, in the teaching service commission,
Let's
and
quickly
of
take
course,
this call.
extending it to even traditional rulers. All of this, what he is pointing out is that all of this constitute to insecurity
Hello, good
problems in the
evening.
land.
Yeah, so
Good evening.
please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question or contribution.
Okay, sir. Ma, I'm Sunday calling from Taraba.
Okay, Sunday, go ahead and make your contribution.
Okay. I support this man when they talk now.
Thank
So
you.
I'm calling from Taraba, Dakum local government. My name is Mambiaki. So I suppose the two with this man when they talk, I suppose the thing well.
Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
It's complimentary to you,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
he believes in what you are saying. So let's continue. So he raised the issue of the security problem is still persisting in Kaduna State. It's not a problem of insurgency, but other security challenges in Kaduna State, marred by the problem of the governor sacking A, B, and C here and there.
Let's quickly
He wants
take
to know whether
another
that
call.
is it's good
Hello?
enough for the
Let's quickly
APC.
take this call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your contribution.
From Shaki,
From where?
your state.
Or your state. Okay, go ahead and make your
What's your name,
contribution.
please?
My name?
Yes.
Okay, Kunle, go ahead and make your contribution.
Okay, my comment concerns the man we are watching on the screen now. Someone is electricity. You don't know what kind of politics.
Come again, Kunle.
I said that man is an electricity.
No, we
Yes.
don't. No, we don't advise the young the use of strong language.
What did he say? I didn't
I
hear
didn't
you.
hear.
No, it's not
Yes,
something I want
Anyway,
to repeat on
it's
air.
okay.
Yes.
We are looking at governance. What we need to do to make Nigeria a better place. So it's not an opportunity. If you may have different views from someone, but you just state your point and your point of disagreement without being abusive.
Yes.
So that, because we need to listen to one another if we must make progress, and that's the essence of this program
Yes,
as well.
yes.
So the concern expressed by Kure, who called in from Kaduna,
No,
about insecurity situation,
in Kaduna.
about the governance style of the governor of that state. What he wants to know is that good enough for a ruling party?
Everybody has. There's no one style of governance. Everybody has a different style of governance, and different societies present different challenges for whoever is governing the state. What a governor of one state in the south might be experiencing might not be what the governor in a state in the north is experiencing. Vice versa in the east or whatever. So different situations demand different approaches. So in the issue of sack of workers, I mean, to be honest, a government, one thing you have to understand is that anybody who loses a job feels bad about losing the job.
Yes.
But for the betterment of society, some people must lose their job. For instance, we all clamor for youth unemployment. If you don't retire old people, you can't employ young people. But there
Let's
is no.
quickly take this call, please. Hello. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Turn down the volume of your TV set and call us back.
So,
Yes.
for instance, if there's somebody who has been queried, somebody who has come late to work and maybe has committed some other infractions on the law and maybe was not disciplined for some time, a governor can come in that decides to discipline to make it more efficient. So remember, there was a time when schools, some governors are making heavy investment in school infrastructure. While they're also making investment in the school infrastructure, they also want to have competent teachers, competent people to manage this infrastructure. So you cannot have new schools without upgrading the level of your workforce. So if some people are sacked, I'm not very conversant with, I'm not from Kaduna State, I don't know how many people is sacked or whatever, but the governor will not, of course the governor cannot run the state without teachers. So obviously, even if some teachers were sacked, their positions will be filled by other teachers, which means that he may have wanted to upgrade the competence of some of them. Some of them may have been working with, they have not maybe upgraded themselves for the past 20, 30 years. And the governor can say, look, if you have not acquired certain skills within some period, you may have to give chance for you, because there are a lot of, if we have to solve youth unemployment, we have to do something radical. We have to also accept, Nigerians should accept that retirement is a blessing. Retirement is not a curse. after a man has worked, people falsify their age so that they can remain in service. No. Because if you don't leave the service, your own children cannot come in. So retirement is not a curse. It is a blessing. And sometimes when you have worked with the government and for one reason or another you leave the government, you can go into business. So creating the environment for business is also important. Again, the agricultural policies of this government is bringing people back to the basics, sending people back to the farms. We have been hearing Green Revolution, OFM, whatever.
Let's quickly take this
no
one.
government.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening once again. I'm Kure.
Okay. Go ahead and ask your third question.
My third question goes like this. What I was saying about the sacking of the cheater. At least somebody that labored for you, you're supposed to pay him his entitlement. Isn't it?
Yes.
Up to today that I'm talking to you, the sacking teachers, the traditional rural, let us forget about the traditional rural. It made them get. Maybe one thing or the other, they didn't sack it the way you want it. But the sacking teachers, I'm having aunties and sisters, blood sisters, that up to date they have not paid them. Is that the way we are fighting corruption? Where is their entitlement? You're supposed to pay them. I'm having an auntie that is 28 years.
Okay, Mr. Kure. Mr. Kure. Mr. Kure.
Our guest has a question for you.
Mr. Kure. The way it goes is not that immediately somebody is sacked, the person's entitlement will be paid immediately. There has to be a process. It has to be organized. So perhaps they are preparing your sister's entitlements. Does not mean that the governor cannot take away his entitlement, your sister's entitlements. They are doing it. It's a process.
Sorry. Let me come in. Sorry. I am not disputing you. But before, if I work with a company, before a company starts you, you must have to pay your wages so that you will not come back to be disturbing it.
Yes.
It's going to 4 years now. And what was if he didn't come back to power? Who will pay them their entitlement?
No, sir. No, sir. Government is a continuum. Government, any money owed by government will be paid. Government does not refuse to. Today, the President Buhari, has paid the entitlements of workers of Nigeria Airways that was closed for 20-something years ago. But President Buhari has paid the salaries of the pension of Biafran policemen policemen that served in Biafra that were after the war. Nobody paid them. Buhari has paid them, which means that your sister must be paid.
What we are saying, excuse me, what we are saying is that thing will linger, that the man may not be voted back. That's what I'm saying. Finally, my final question. This girl that was kidnapped in
Leah Sharibu.
Leah Sharibu.
Leah Sharibu. Nobody is talking about her. Everybody is busy talking about election. Is that the way we will go?
No, sir. They are talking about her.
Yes, thank you.
They are talking about her.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Yes,
Kure.
yes.
No, I have to. Concerning that one,
you
I need to correct that.
Just go
why not?
ahead and
I need to
talk.
talk about the government is thinking of Leah Sharibu. If you follow the news, 2 days ago, the new camps that the Boko Haram are building in Sambisa Forest were destroyed again 2 days ago here. And the government ordered jets. Remember, that's why we talk about credibility. When we talk about the creator of this government, for a long time, the American government refused to send jets to Nigeria. Why? Because they knew, because of the corruption in the government and a lot of other reasons.
Hello? Let's quickly take this call. Hello? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, but since Buhari came in, because the international law, these jets are made in Brazil, but you cannot buy them without going through America.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
We lost that.
So the government is working. Let's be honest.
It is working, but in
Insecurity.
buying this
No,
jet,
if we are talking,
the jet in question has been paid for and is not going to be supplied for the next 4 years.
the reason is simple.
Nobody
The reason is
ties
simple. My sister,
I
if
won't
those
do a
jets were
business
bought,
and tie down my money.
If they were bought,
America will not give you a dime of their money to trade with.
no,
if they are not going
you have to
see
understand
what-
security issues.
No.
If you are you
Americans
aware?
will never
No,
ever do
are you
that. It's
aware?
only
Wait,
in
let me
Africa and
no,
in
no,
Nigeria it happens.
no, madam. these things are not.
Let's quickly take this call.
They're not at work.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good evening.
My name is Emmanuel Samuel. I'm talking from Kadaba.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Samuel, and ask your question or make your contribution.
And my contribution to this discussion is that let our leader, let our politician not know that every office that has occupied, they will be accountable. If it is not displayed very well, this is not constitution today. So the office they have occupied, let me use it in the benefit of a man in the country.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr.
Thanks,
Samuel.
So we're talking about the jets. If for instance, this hypothetically, if when the Boko Haram crisis started about 7 years ago, those jets were paid for, we would have had them since. The fact that they were not sold to successive government had to do with a lot of corruption and everything. Now they have been sold to this government. The fact that they will take 4 years to come out, it's not an issue. You know why? When they come out, those Boko Haram will be decimated forever and ever.
Hello.
Hello,
Good evening. Yes, good evening.
it's Kure calling once.
Oh, Mr. Kure, go ahead and make your contribution.
Finally.
Okay.
Yes, let it be final, at least for today.
The final question that I will ask him, I agree they will pay my sister entitlement.
Yes, they will pay.
But in particular, the government collected my grandfather land. Up to today, they have not paid me. When are they paying me? Let him give me the assurance and I will write the date. And if they didn't pay me, then I will look for him.
Sorry, sir. I don't work with the Kanda State government.
Yes.
I do not
Thank
work
you
with
very
Kanda
much.
State government. No. I cannot give you. I do not work with the Kanda State government. But I can assure you that the Kanda State governor is a good man. If he has even heard you, he will pay you.
As an APC stalwart,
You
should be able to pass on this message.
No. The Kanda State governor is a very nice man. He's a honorable man. I know he will pay you. Don't worry.
I think
Mr.
he will be more assured.
He will pay you, Mr. Kure. No, Nasi Erufai is a honorable man and he's going to pay you your money. I can assure
Maybe
you.
you help him.
He will be more rest assured if you promise to take it off from here.
No, I cannot do that. I cannot give that
and reach the
assurance.
governor.
But I'm sure the governor will. Either he's hearing or one of his aides is
As a good party
watching,
man.
so he will be paid.
As a good party man, you reach
I
your
can
governor.
be
The
sure.
issue of
All
the
right, let's come back to this.
fighter plane,
Yes,
fighter jets.
No, what I'm saying is this: better late than never. When this government came in, they did an assessment. This is what the security agency said they needed to finish the Boko Haram war, and the government went because the government had credibility, and that is when we come back to credibility again. That the choice between the Nigerians today is to choose a man that the international community listens to. Anywhere Buhari goes to, he's listened to. You know why? Because they know he's incorruptible. They know he's a man of integrity. Forget, we do not value him up because we have him in Nigeria. We are blessed with him. We do not value him. In sub-Saharan Africa, in Europe, everywhere, Buhari is well respected.
But
And
if he is a man of integrity, there are issues. We'll come right back to those questions after this call. Please go ahead. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello?
All right, let's continue. I think you have made your point.
No, I need to.
There are comments.
Yes.
Yes.
The issue of what's his name? Ganduje is still there.
Ganduje is people look. No,
And-
listen. Let's get this straight. Ganduje is a serving governor. He has immunity to prosecution. And you cannot expect a president to make a comment, to act against the constitution, which grants a governor immunity to prosecution. There is nothing you can do. Moreover, like the president said, the case is being investigated by the Kano State House of
We
Assembly.
still have a caller. Let's quickly take this caller. Hello, Abi. Hello, good evening. Let's quickly take this call. Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
My name is Nkechi. I'm calling from Abia State.
Okay, Nkechi, go
Nkechi.
ahead and make your contribution.
I don't like what a man wearing ash. It's talking about. SPC is brought in here. I did not support SPC. PDP should go on. PDP as the leader, and they will always be the kind. I don't know what that one is talking about.
Why are you not supporting APC?
Hunger is killing us. Hunger is killing us this Nigeria. Just focus on APC.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
You made your
Nkechi.
point. All right, let's get back to this issue. Per se, like Ifeanyi, who called from Zamfara, he made mention of the issue that the primaries did not hold in Zamfara. We may not hold you so much to tax over it, but let's get to the issue of you may have a comment to make
I
on
have a
Zamfara.
comment here.
Yes, and then
let
that's shortly after that. What is your assessment of the anti-corruption war by this government?
Before I go to that, let me the Zamfara case.
Yes.
The party set out criteria for primaries, direct or indirect primaries.
Let's quickly take
So-
this call. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your contribution.
Okay, I am Ogadema. I'm calling from Imo State.
Okay.
Go ahead and make your contribution.
Yes, I want to comment on what the
Mr. Oshioke.
Mr. Oshioke.
He's a stalwart of APC.
what he was saying concerning the gratuity of pension of ex-Nigeria police, ex-Biafra police
Yes.
that has been paid. I want to... Hello.
We are
Hello,
hearing.
we
Go
can hear
ahead.
you. Go ahead.
Yes. He was saying that Nigeria, Biafran ex-policemen, that Buhari has paid their gratuity.
Yes.
Please, can that man mention the name of one person that his gratuity has been paid? That is number one. And number two, I don't see the reason why people will see an open truth, a truth, something that is far to everybody's eyes, and somebody will be trying to cover it up because of a particular position that you have been given to. And maybe you have been given an appointment or a kind of contract.
He's only a stalwart of the party.
You have to stay your conscience. We all know very well that the present administration of APC, of President Muhammadu Buhari, has not favored Nigeria.
Sir, that is your view. Sir, no. I will not agree with you. Sir, that is your view. It's not my view.
Let us quickly take this
So,
call.
you cannot
Let's
claim that it
quickly-
has not favored Nigeria. It has not favored you.
Hello,
Perhaps.
good evening. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and then make your contribution.
My name is Yoba from Kaduna.
Okay.
Your name is what?
Yoba from Kaduna.
Uba.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and make your contribution.
I'm watching your program,
Thank you.
Thank you.
but I don't understand exactly what you people mean about that.
About what?
Hello?
Hello? Go ahead.
I don't exactly understand what you people mean there.
What we are talking about, you don't understand.
Yes,
Okay.
I just joined the program now.
Okay, no problem. Just
This
sit-
is the 2019 election countdown studio coming live to you from Clearview Television. We are discussing issues surrounding the elections and why people want to be voted for and why they should be voted for. And of course, we try to analyze the process on how we can hold free and fair
Let's quickly take
and
this
non-violent elections. That is
Hel-
the issue. And today,
Hello?
the person you are listening to and you are watching
Yes.
is Mr. Victor Oshioke,
Hello?
Yeah,
a
good
stalwart
evening.
of the APC.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Good
Well,
evening.
yes,
Yes.
go ahead.
Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and then make your contribution
Yes.
or ask your question.
I called before. I was cut off.
Okay. We're trying to answer your question.
Okay.
Yes, you said you didn't know what
Answer
you.
to that question.
And that is what he's doing. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hello.
And go ahead. He's already answering your question.
Yes. I'm talking about the man that said that Buhari has paid the pension and gratuities of ex-Biafran police.
Yes. You have not allowed him to answer
Are
you
you
yet.
sorry? My question is: are you one of the ex-Biafra police,
My father was.
and he has not been paid?
Who has ever even talked about it, talkless of things?
I have seen people who have claimed. I have seen people. I have
Have
seen
you made
people.
these records available?
Please go and investigate. People have been paid. If your father has not been paid, maybe somehow he missed out through documentation. But he should go and check. People have been paid.
It's okay. Let's
Okay.
say that.
Let us stop promoting this administration with lies, total lies.
Okay, you made your point.
That's your
You
point.
made
Thank
your
you
that's
very
your
much.
opinion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oba.
So
Yes.
I need to correct one.
Let's quickly take this last call so that
That will be the last call.
You
So that you can address all the issues
Hello.
raised.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good
I can
evening.
understand you people very well now. My name is Oba from Kaduna.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. What?
Oh.
Yes.
You are not going to contribute?
Yes, you can.
Go ahead and contribute.
Okay.
Yes.
My own reason there is that both Buhari and their Tuku, I listen very well. Hello.
We are
Yes,
hearing
go
you.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Both Buhari and their Tuku, all of them, you understand me?
Go ahead.
Buhari is good. Buhari is good, Atiku is good. But one thing, the problem that we have in this country, more especially in this government, his cabinet was scheduled on one side. That is a problem. So if any other person would do the same, it becomes the same problem. So what you hear is that if you look all his appointments, all the appointment of Mr. Buhari, all his appointment is one side, and nobody can tell him. So is what I'm saying. So he should do the appointment very well, for at least two sides will enjoy the government. But the appointment is only one side. That's the problem Nigeria has. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oba.
Yeah. He's talking about fair appointments across, at least in compliance with the federal capital.
Federal
Yes.
character.
As far as I'm concerned, I have my opinion is one. There are appointments that are overtly stated should represent the federal, have the federal coloration. That's why you see ministers come from every state. Then there are appointments that are based on seniority in place of work. Then there are appointments that are based on maybe the specific qualifications. Okay? So when I look at it as a Nigerian, I want us to begin to talk as Nigerians. I personally, I do not like the idea. While the idea, the concept of federal character is very good, I do not like the idea of people talking ethnicity wherever we are talking. If people are competent, forget where they come from. As long as they are competent, I want people to talk about competence, to say so person is not competent in the job he's doing.
Yes.
If you are going to get 10 good people who will make the Ministry of Agriculture work, forget where they are coming from. Let them make the Ministry of Agriculture work.
But
That is my point of view.
Yeah.
Because there is no time. Remember, people did say President Jonathan was clannish. People are saying Buhari is nepotic. People said President Jonathan was clannish. They said he even went to the point of appointing only his clan, his tribe, his minute ethnic area into positions. Now, people will always talk. Of course, I enjoy fair play. I want people Nigeria to be represented when
Yes,
it comes
okay,
to
for lack of time.
where constitutionality
Mr.
it
Shoke.
says that people
Mr.
federal
Shoke,
character should show. Yeah.
for lack of time, what's your last word?
I want to
Mr.
correct an impression.
Just
There
your
was
last
something.
word.
There was
On
something.
the election.
No, there was something. Somebody an issue. Somebody that Oshomole said when you join APC, your sins are forgiven. No. People should look at that statement in the context he made that statement. The man who he read his name is called Iluobe. Iluobe means I do not commit sin. So he now said, oh, your name is Iluobe, you do not commit sin. So now that you are joined AP, your sins are forgiven. You join APC, your sins are forgiven, which is almost like, oh, you have come to the right place. It's not that the man has no case pending in court, so Shomole has no way. He never said your corruption cases are withdrawn. He said your sins are forgiven. So he was making reference to his name, not making a statement as party chairman that concerns members of his party. So people are trying to twist it just to get political currency. No, Oshomole never said that. People have been writing that Oshomole at no time did he say, if you join the PC, your sins are forgiven. No.
That's all right. On that note, we want to call it a day here. We will have more time to deal with this and some other issues
Okay,
again.
thank you very much.
We will invite you for as this program continues.
Thank you very much.
So we have been discussing with a stalwart of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC. He is Mr. Victor Oshioke, a former Special Assistant on Media Matters and the Diaspora to Comrade Adams Oshomole when he presided over the affairs of Edo State as governor. He believes strongly that the All Progressive Congress APC deserves to be re-elected into office under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari because of the party's good standing. He said the party has been able to redefine Nigeria in various fields, particularly in the case of bringing back to Nigerians credibility, as you call it.
Yes.
And of course, he said that because the president has good standing among the international community, they believe in what he's doing. And he believes strongly that another 4 years for Mr. President will begin to see a real crystallization of some of his policies and programs. That's how it has been on 2019 Canada Election Studio from here. From Doris Samuel, my co-host, my name is Utan Okawa. We wish to thank you very much for joining us on the program. We'll be back same time tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes. It's been great having you.
Thank you, madam.
Yes.